Here's a video for the chain rule notes. So to get started, we just wanted to talk about each of the different operations that we already know how to take the derivative of. So the derivative of f of x plus g of x, you can just take the derivative of each of them separately and add. And then same with subtraction. And now with multiplication, we need the product rule. So first times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first. And then now for division, we need the quotient rule. So bottom times the derivative of the top minus top times the derivative of the bottom all over the bottom squared. So that's not new, that's just kind of review. So now we're going to learn how to take the derivative of the next operation, which is really composition. Just remember, like back in Algebra 2 when you learned how to do like f of g or f, sometimes they write it like that. But either way, we're plugging the function g into f. So here, how you take the derivative of this is you kind of do it one layer at a time. So we take the derivative of f, but you leave g plugged in. And then you multiply by the derivative of g. So let's do a little example to try to make it make a little bit more sense. So here the outside function is sine. So from that trig video, you should know that the derivative of sine is cosine. So the derivative of the sine of 2x would be the cosine of 2x. So you leave the 2x plugged in, and then you multiply by the derivative of 2x, which is 2. So this part of it is this part. So we took the derivative of the outside function but left the inside in, and then we multiplied by the derivative of the inside function. So here's just a couple examples. So if we want to take the derivative of this function, the outside function is really to the fourth power. So how you normally deal with something to the fourth power is you bring the 4 down. So we're going to leave the inside, oh, it's getting a little blurry. We're going to leave the inside in, subtract 1 from the power, and then multiply by the derivative of the inside, which is 2x. If you want, you can, bring that together, but that's just a matter of cleaning it up. So same thing here. So our power is really 1/2 here. So that's really the outside function. So to find the derivative, we're going to bring the 1/2 down, leave the inside in, and subtract 1 from the power, and then multiply by the derivative of the inside. So you can only do like one step at a time. So this step dealt with the square root, this step dealt with the inside, the 4x minus 3. All right, so here's an example where it's just kind of switching what's on the outside and the inside. Here the square root's on the outside, cosine's on the inside, and here it's opposite. So to take the derivative, we always deal with the outside function first. So for square root, that's really cosine of x, all to the 1/2 power. So now we're going to bring the 1/2 to the front, cosine of x to the negative 1/2. So that dealt with the square root. Now we have to multiply by the derivative of the inside. And from the previous lesson, you should know that the derivative of cosine is negative sine of x. All right, so now let's look at this one. So here, the outside function is cosine. So the derivative of the cosine of something is the negative sine of something. And then we have to multiply by the derivative of the inside. All right, a couple more examples. All right, so this one's a little bit more challenging because there's kind of 3 things happening. The inside, the innermost function is the 3x, and then the cosine, and then the squared. I know that this looks a little bit strange, but this is really the same thing as this. So I think that maybe rewriting it like that kind of helps you see that the squaring, it really is on the outside. So the first thing we do is deal with the squared. So because there's 3 things happening to x, there will be 3 steps in this chain rule. So the first one deals with the 2. So 2 times the cosine of 3x. So that dealt with the 2. Now we're going to deal with the next function, the cosine. So the derivative of the cosine of something is the negative sine of something. So that dealt with that. Now the only thing we have left to deal with is the 3x, and the derivative of that is 3. It's not really much to do. If you want to just bring all those constants to the front, you can. Okay, so now let's look at this one. So here the outermost function is the 5. So to take the derivative of that, it's going to be 5 times this whole thing to the 4th power. So we leave the inside in. Now we have to multiply by the derivative of the inside, which is going to require the quotient rule. So bottom times the derivative of the top minus top times the derivative of the bottom, all over the bottom squared. And then now let's just clean this part up a bit. So x plus 1 times 1 minus x. So that's just going to be 1 over x plus 1 squared. Maybe we'll put this 4 through, so it's really x to the 4th over x plus 1 to the 4th. So now if you kind of clean this up a bit, on the in the numerator you have 5x to the 4th, and the denominator now you have 6 of these. So it's D. A couple more. All right, so now this one deals with a chart. So instead of actually giving you the function, it just tells you information in a chart. So selected values of an increasing function are available in this chart. And then G is just some differentiable function. Oh wait, you know what? We're skipping this one. I forgot. We're skipping this one. Let's go on to this one. So here, it's kind of similar though. You're just given a bit of information and you're not actually told what the function is. So in this situation, f is g of x squared. You just don't know what g of x actually is. But still, do you see how the outside function is a squared and the inside is g? So f prime of x is 2 times g of x. So that dealt with the 2. Now you have to multiply by the derivative of the inside, which is g prime of x. So now it's also asking us to plug 4 in. So it's 2 times g of 4 times g prime of 4. And then we're going to just take those numbers from the given information. So 2 times 4 times negative 2 is negative 16. Now let's look at this one. So here our outside function is a square root, which is, remember, that's really just a 1/2 power. So we're going to bring the 1/2 down, subtract 1 from the power, and then multiply by the derivative of the inside. So now you have to plug 4 in. So 1/2 times h of 4 to the negative 1/2 times h prime of 4. So according to this chart, or this information, h of 4 is 9. So we have 1/2 9 to the negative 1/2 times h prime of 4, they told us was 5. So 9 to the negative 1/2, isn't that really the same thing as 1 over 9 to the 1/2? So 9 to the 1/2 is just 3, square root of 9. So now I have 1/2 times 1/3 times 5, so that ends up being 5/6. All right, last one. So now here you have h of g of x. Do you see how the outside function is h there? So, oops. So the derivative of this would be h prime, take the derivative of the outside, leave the inside in, and then multiply by the derivative of the inside. So a common mistake that people make here is they kind of think that it's h prime times g of x. This isn't multiplication. This is h prime of g of x. So now if we go to plug, oh, I did it again. So now if we go to plug 4 in, we have h prime of g of 4 times g prime of 4. So g of 4, according to this information, is 4. So this is h prime of 4. So h prime of 4 is 5. And then g prime of 4 is negative 2. So this is negative 10. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Try to complete the assignment, and we'll go from there.